folks, welcome back to the Face Off Divide and Conquer Season 12 vlogs. Yeah. Alright, this week we're gonna jump into the game by having the teams pick, well, their own type of insects, which were only 3 given: termite, ants, wasps, to create their own alien race and have a queen, a drone, and a worker. And the little twist they had is they had to make a hatching egg prop, which, no biggie, it's super simple and easy. It's basically a puppet, not that hard. And this week's foreman, the team captains of this week, you have Nelson on Ethereal Effects, and then you have Jill on Twisted 6. Now, everything seemed like it was going right for all the teams. They both had their struggles, they both had some good things. Though, one thing I noticed from both teams, one from the Twisted 6 and one at the very end at Judges Looks for Ethereal Effects, is they both picked their queens to be male. And I was like, wait, why are they picking males to be their queens? Makes no sense. So when Michael Westmore came in to look at their makeup on the first day, he told Jill to cover the parts of the male that's going to be the queen to not make it look so manly, like especially with the Adam's apple on the throat, which we're going to get into Ethereal Effects makeup on that in a bit. So she covered up the Adam's apple and it was just, everything worked out fine. Now this week when we got to Judges, V wasn't there because apparently she's working on a super secret project this time. She's a 4-time Emmy-winning makeup artist who has worked on Scream Queens, The People vs. O.J. Simpson, and American Horror Story. I have her name on my phone because I cannot remember how to pronounce it. And also, apparently she's been on Face Off before as a guest judge, and I don't remember when. So, I'm not sure when, but her name is Ian Kruger McCash. Which, awesome name, but also trying to say it right. What? That's my problem when I pronounce people's names online. No, I'm either gonna get it right half the time or wrong most of the time. Yay me! So now we were actually in looks of the characters. So let's start with Ethereal Effects. They picked termites, and at first I didn't like their concept. What they did was they had the drone and the worker not have any eyes, which overall I actually think it works because it makes them a little bit scary and creepy. The queen, on the other hand, since their queen was a male, yeah, the makeup could have done a little bit more better on the queen, especially they didn't put makeup over, like actually prosthetic makeup over his Adam's apple because it's very protruding. So it's basically they just put a mask on the guy, put him in a corset and dress, like you do. And it's just, I like it, but I think they could have done a little bit more better queen. Maybe like put more on the, more extending to make it more like a crown instead of tiny. But overall, I like the termite looks. They're not bad. Now we're on to Twisted 6 where they got wasp. And, there's like a lot of mixed between this. They don't look cohesive. They don't look like they're actually together. I think I like my favorite from the queen because Nick did the headpiece on the queen and it looks wonderful, but when you get to the face, I like that he actually covered that it doesn't look like a male, but the color scheme doesn't really look right. It feels completely off. And then when you look at the worker, the mandibles on him don't look right. They look like they are still in, like, need another hour in looks. That's how bad it was. And the color scheme is like different, like a couple, like they had to use yellow because they picked wasp. It makes sense, but they used apparently different types of yellow color. And then they get to the drone. No, I was actually talking about the drone. That was the the drone that had the armor. That was 2 different color schemes. Then you get to the worker, and they decided to keep her human eyes in, even though she already had her eyes up. It makes no sense to have her human eyes. They could have covered it and just had 2 tiny slits. That wouldn't have made it much interesting, but it feels like it feels like they're not cohesive together. It feels like they're just 3 different characters. And that's kind of sad. And now you're wondering which team won? Well, the second week in a row, Ethereal Effects won. And the winner for her cohesive painting in all 3 of the makeups is Fianna. And I actually got her name right because they actually said her name right. So I feel super happy I got it right. And second week in a row, Ethereal Effects is going pretty strong. And now you're wondering who left on Twisted 6. Well, they had Jill, Phil, and Al on the bottom. They had Jill on the bottom because her makeups weren't cohesive. They didn't fit together. They had Phil on the bottom because his drone for the makeup color scheme didn't look right. And Al was on the bottom because he worked on the manageables and the armor and the hatching egg. So his makeup actually, he didn't really do any makeup. And it sucks. So unfortunately, we lost Al. Which, it sucks. I hate that he's gone, but I know he's gonna do great work. Even though he was there for a short time, a lot of people called him like the dad of the face-off contestants because he was the oldest contestant there. So he will do great things, and he didn't get more chance, but that's how face-off works, that's how the competition works, and I think we can expect more from him in the future. Next week, my DVR cut off again, but I had one tiny hit when they showed like like parts of the makeup in the shadow, especially I saw some glowing lights. We might be going to the world of fantasy. Possibly. I'm just guessing. But I'm pretty excited, especially given the fact that now we have 10 contestants left, which Ethereal Effects has 6 members. Twisted 6 only has 4. This is going to be interesting. Especially when Twisted 6 may not have a lot of members. They might actually break the teams up and make it individual challenge, because you know they're gonna be doing that when you get to a small number between both teams. Like, don't leave us in the dark here. We know that's gonna happen. We know, face off. So I think that's all I got for you guys for this week. So until next time, I'll see you all in the next vlog reactions for Face Off Divide and Conquer Season 12. Later.